Alright, hi everyone. How are we all tonight? It is 1:11 a.m. And you might be wondering, well, what are we doing live streaming at 1 in the morning? And as you can probably tell by the title, we're going to do some unboxing. Now, um, I've been called a total idiot before. But I want to explain what's happened, okay? So, for those who've been following the channel and the Facebook page and everything else, it's been a pretty huge opportunity to work with Chaser Archery. This is effectively a sponsorship in all but name. So, Chaser Archery, Chinese company, have been in contact, and they've sent through a free sample of their Chaser Python, which is a very high-end Olympic target riser. And I've basically decided to build an entire competitive bow around this riser. So it's insane, right? This is like I think it's about about $700 US. There's a discount right now, so it's a bit less than that. But it's about a $700-800 riser. Quite a big deal. So if you haven't already, check out the previous live streams. There's a 3-hour shopping live stream where we basically handpick every accessory to this riser. And in the previous live stream, I unboxed all the stuff I bought. I bought new limbs, Uka limbs, bought the accessories, and you know it's this really hyped up journey. But we're so excited to get the riser. Now, the CEO or the owner of Chaser, Gao, he's been in contact with me. He told me he sent it off a few days ago. He sent me the tracking details, and last time I checked, like the day before, was in Singapore. So I wasn't expecting it this week. I knew it would arrive sometime soon. But last I heard, it was going to come on Monday. And I thought, yeah, okay, you know, things tend to live in the weekend, so Monday seems about right. So I didn't expect to get it. So finished work today. Decided to nap through the entire afternoon and evening. So I woke up like 2 hours ago. Because I was planning to get a haircut this morning, or tomorrow morning. I left my hair a bit too long. I'm a little, I'm not camera ready here, right? I've got pimples and bad hair, so I was planning on getting a haircut tomorrow morning instead of this morning. It's obviously Saturday now, and I was planning on getting a haircut. I wasn't running the club, or the come and try program, so I'm taking the day off. Get a haircut, and I might drop by the archery in the afternoon. But I was told by my father that there was a delivery that was being forwarded to the post office, so I had to go and pick it up. And I thought, oh, that's probably the Chaser Archery bow. I didn't think it would arrive today, so we went home. I'll pick it up on tomorrow morning, which is today. So I'm here. I'm just like munching on apples and drinking, matcha lattes. I was playing on my mobile, and it's like I got nothing to do tonight. I don't want to mark work. I was doing some recording for War Thunder. I just got it over and done with. It's a pretty low key evening, right? So yeah, I thought, okay, cool. So while I was just walking around and getting stuff organized, I was looking around, right? So the past 2 weeks I've been so busy. I've got so much stuff lying around from archery companies sending me gear to review. I've got bows here being maintained. I'll show you. Okay, I'll try not to disconnect my camera, but look at the crap around me. This is what's around, right? So that's basically my mess pile right now. Right, I've got so much gear here, and this is not my archery part. The whole back room of gear. So I was unboxing the accessory, the stabilizers. I've got the Elven Ranger over there somewhere. I've got an arrow tube and postal tubes, and I've got other stuff here. I've got the toe point up there. I've got the Uka limb box. I've got the a trash bag, right? So I've got my exams here. So I'm marking the exams. I've got all this stuff floating around, and I'm just looking around, thinking, hang on. There's a set of boxes here which wasn't here before, and I realized there's a logo which I should realize by now, right? I've just realized that the package that arrived for me that is at the post office is in fact not the Chaser Archery package. I did not check the tracking. I've actually ordered a Google Home Mini just for fun. All right, so I bought that from Google, and Google shipped very quickly. That was like yesterday. So I've realized that the package at the post office is most likely the Google Home speaker, and what I've got here is the Chaser Archery Python, which I've been waiting for and getting overly hyped. And I've just realized it's been sitting here. I've been walking past it for the last like 3 hours, and I've never realized it was here. So, I'm a little like, I'm in that anticlimax mode where, you know, it's 1 a.m. I'm just gonna do some stuff and just go to sleep and have a haircut in the morning. But now I've got this. I was planning on picking it up in the morning, and doing a live unbox at the archery club. Have everybody go, ooh, but it's here. It's actually here. So I've got stuff. So we're gonna unbox. We're gonna watch. We're gonna get stuff. I've got my cutting device here. Thanks to Paul or Bootsy for giving me this knife. But let's unbox stuff. Should we unbox the limbs first or the riser? I'm not sure which one's which. I can't even tell. Oh, this is the heavy one. This must be the riser. So let's do the limbs first. Let's do limbs. So the limbs they sent me were these are the Chaser 10 limbs. I believe what Gal told me was these were the rebranded Kaya limbs, and they are carbon foam fiber. These are 32-pound limbs, and I didn't intend to use them on the Chaser Python. These are spare practice limbs, and I might put them on the Toe Point Unison Barebow, and I might use this as a test bed for a few different risers. So 32 pounds are very gentle to work with. So we'll do limbs first. Give people more time to get in the chat. By the way, hi everyone. I know you're there. I've been ignoring you because I've got more things to focus on, but I know you're here watching. So we'll do the limbs first. I'm pretty sure these are limbs. Let me grab the chat window. Closed it by accident. Alright, so let's have a quick look at what's happening here. Alright, by the way, those who are watching the live stream or watching afterwards, I do plan to do a compressed version of the project. So this is just the raw live stuff. Ooh, it's been opened by Customs. Very interesting. Okay, let's not destroy myself here. I've got so many boxes lying around, it's not even funny. But yeah, so these are the limbs which I'm opening are Chaser 10 limbs. So these are rebranded KUs. I've been told that these are not being sold outside of China. So if you're interested in these limbs, KU manufactured these. But these are not being sold outside of China, so this just wasn't the whole focus. But it was a free gift. I thought it'd be nice to have a practice set of limbs. And these are in fact the limbs. Good. So we went wrong there. Ooh, how pretty is that? Look at some canvas sleeves. By the way, I hate unboxing videos. So I don't do them. I find them overrated. They were really trendy like years ago when like people were on YouTube just watching people unbox things. I don't really care. But there's a lot of hype around this. That's why I'm really excited to have a look. Greetings to Juan from Argentina. Alright, so let's check these limbs. These are 32-pound carbon foam Chaser 10 limbs. So these are, oh, you want to see live reactions? That is a pretty limb. Oh, hell yes. That is a pretty limb. You've got to agree. This is live, guys. That is a beautiful limb. No joke. That's definitely worth like $400+. That is a beautiful. I like the 10 logo there. Whoa. On the back we've got the 10 10 10. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. Cheeky 10 10 10. With the Chaser Archery logo over there. Hello Kevin, by the way. You've joined us just the right time. We've got the tight button cover. That's pretty standard there, and that's what to say here, 32 pounds. Yeah, 32 pounds at 68-inch on 25-inch riser. All right, that is a pretty autofocus. Made in Korea. Nice. So like I said, this is actually manufactured by Kea, but rebranded for Chaser. So this is a Kea limb. That is really, really nice limb. Wow. What's over here? 4-layer bias and high modulus carbon, foam core, torsional stability, speed, smoothness, only for 10. That is actually really nice. Whoa, that's a beautiful limb. This is like I said, 32-pound limb. And I've used Kea limbs before. And if I knew I was getting this earlier, I wouldn't have bought the Ukas, but people really wanted Ukas. So we bought the Ukas, we splurged. We've got 36-pound Ukas, which are right here. And now we have these beautiful Chaser 10 limbs. These are more conventional limbs. That's the top limb, bottom limb, imagine the same thing. Oh, nearly dropped it. So same thing for bottom limb there. Beautiful. What a nice set of limbs. I love the black. Great finish on these limbs. The carbon pattern you can see there, that's a really nice carbon as well. Same thing, Chaser logo. That is a very, very nice limb set. Wow. Okay, this is not cheap stuff. That is very, very impressive. Whoa. Alright, so that's the limb set. Okay, Chaser 10 limbs. These aren't available outside of China. They're not meant to be. These are made from Kea, but these were sent to me free of charge. So, yeah, very impressive stuff. Nice to see. I mean, I can't really say enough good things about Chaser Archery. Like, they're really trying to be a legitimate, competitive archery company, manufacturing proper gear for athletes. So, yeah, no, thank you to Chaser Archery for sending me the limbs. I'm really looking forward to getting these on either of my bows. But we're not here for the limbs, are we? Now, let's go to the main event. That's hefty. I want to say thanks to Jason, by the way, Jason Butterworth. He was the one that got us connected between Chase and myself, and I was very pleased to hear that Jason is also getting a bow for himself to sample as a gift. But I believe I should be the first one in Australia to get one of these. I'm one of the first. I mean, they're not being sold here. But this is going to be a very unique opportunity. So this is perhaps going to be the first unboxing of this bow in Australia, if not elsewhere. Where's the flap? Yeah, I'm going to be a terrible unboxer. That's why I hate unboxing videos. So to be a good unboxer, you got to have like good knife work. You've got to intuitively recognize boxes. I like being meticulous at things. I mean, there are two kinds of people when it comes to like packaging. The people who just tear everything open, and the people who carefully find the most efficient way to remove the paper. I'm more the second sort of person. I like the precise cuts rather than ripping everything open. I've got it open right now. I'm more the surgeon kind unboxer, and we've got it. We've got. Whoa! All right, take a deep breath. It's a nice canvas cover. I actually can't see it, right? So let's go through the accessories first, of course, in order of priorities. So we've got the pamphlet. You can see this on the Chase Facebook page and website. So it's the same photos. It talks through all the design elements. So what does it say over here? 2-year co-developed with the China National Archery Team, creating professional riser for world top archers. You probably can't focus that, but we'll read through this. 5-axis CNC machine with high quality 7075 T651 aluminum for you Americans. Apparently this is the high grade aluminum. So that's a big upgrade over other risers. In fact, they did make a point about how this is actually a tier above some of the current bows, like the Hoyt GMX, for example. They use a lower grade aluminum. Sorry, I'm going to use the aluminum here. So apparently it's better. in terms of its stability. It boasts a design with sophisticated mechanical analysis, rendering extreme torsional stability, high rigidity, and super low vibration. Some good bragging points. I should point out that this is not very English, right? Or Chinglish. This is actually pretty decent English here, so some more effort into making it look right. Both sides detachable. Washer limb alignment system can be adjusted while the bow is strung. That's pretty normal for bows these days. So the point being is that you can do the horizontal adjustment while the bow is strung. Normally you'd have to unstring the bow and then move it, but you can do it while strung. I'm not sure that many people do anyway. People tend to reserve that. Standard hour fittings, 25-inch length. Weight, interesting. 1297 grams, so 1,297 grams, or 2.86 pounds. That is, it's a typical aluminum riser weight, I find. Though I spell aluminium, yes. As someone who's non-American, to me it's aluminium. It's spelled aluminum here, so you can see the target audience. It's currently only right-handed for now, and big boasting point, designed and made with pride in China. We can see on the back, that's the general picture. See all the colors there, as well as that picture there. That's on the Facebook page as well. So, what's over here? We have the breakdown of the bow and the instructions. So we have instructions on. It comes with washers, so you can increase the thickness, or therefore the left-right adjustment. Okay, it's one of those ones. So there are a certain number of washers, and they determine the horizontal alignment. So it isn't one of those typical like screw-in things where you can be left and right. So you actually add more padding. So it's a detachable washer limb alignment system. Gotcha. So you can see the diagram there. So you actually remove the bolt entirely. Let's see, try to zoom in there. Hide my face. There we go. Well done, camera. Very well. So you can see you remove the horizontal limb bolt, and you add washers on either side to adjust the horizontal adjustment, I guess. So with other limb pocket systems, it might be an asymmetric limb bolt, so you rotate the limb bolt to get the right horizontal alignment. Other systems move it left and right. This is a washer system. Interesting. Okay. I might admit, normally most risers are pretty good out of the box. There's very little adjustment which needs to be lots of tape around it. Let us use our surgical skills. Surgical style. Very funny, Ricardo, by the way, tidying up. Yeah, I like tidying up in certain, seasons. I like to clean up every now and then, but just so many things happening this week that I haven't had time to... Oh, this is the grip! Alright, they sent me 2 grips. So this is the default grip. So that's the regular grip it comes with. This is the current grip, and I believe they replaced the grip for me in the factory. Oh, well, this is done by hand. But they replaced the grip with the alternate wider grip. So I think this is the current grip. That's nice. Oh, labeled there. That's actually quite nice. It's a is that a proper wood grip? Oh, that's a nice grip actually. This is more of the Hoyt style grip. I believe they've given me a wider grip. They've watched all my videos, and they've paid attention to what I like in my grips. So they removed the default grip, which is a nice grip. But I think they're right. The companies pay attention, right? This is how you really sweeten the deal when you customize things for the person using it. This is, by the way, the luxury of having sponsorships, if you ever get to that level. But that's a nice grip. I mean, the bow's not here, obviously, but it's a very smooth feeling there. It's not a cold plastic aluminium feel. It's a nice warm wood feel. Very smooth. The hand sits in quite nicely, and I think they're right. This is not my preferred grip. It's a good grip, but I'm more used to the wider base. So the SF or the you might say the win and win style grips tend to have a wider, as a right-handed shooter holding the bow in my left hand, I tend to prefer a wider base here and kind of less prominent thumb grooves here. So the way this grip is shaped makes a lot of sense. So I think he's read my preference as well. I didn't know I had this preference, honestly. But obviously he's paying a lot of attention, and he's removed the default grip and it's given me the older grip. So that's the only thing that came in the box. We have the pamphlet, we have a spare grip, which wouldn't normally come with the Python. I believe this can be bought separately, or you can acquire the grips in different ways. But he did send me a free bonus grip. Is it 3D printed? Shouldn't be. I don't think it is. I think it actually probably would. Or maybe it is. I wouldn't be surprised. I actually don't know. That's a beautiful grip. Looks very similar to my Python, my Unison grip actually. But the main event. So this is what you get out of the box. So this is the bow sleeve. Chaser archery. It's a nice canvas sleeve, and a little clever marketing thing is you see the Python logo just in there. One thing I'd say about the bow sleeve, if you're listening, Chaser, as much as I like the market value of having this open, one thing I'd say is for anyone who wants to put their riser in a sleeve, you probably don't want an opening in your bow sleeve, because the whole point of the sleeve, right guys, is to protect the bow from contact, so that way there's no scratches or dings on the riser. And I feel that any bow case or bow sleeve which has an opening kind of defeats the purpose of a bow sleeve. That's my opinion. I honestly, I like the fact that it's teasing you, but that's a one-off wow factor. I find that if I want to use this bow case as a permanent thing, and I intend to do so, this is a bit of a flaw, because if I put this in my bag and there are other things like maybe a bow stand or some tools and it dings it here, then that's going to be disappointing, because this is an expensive riser. This is hugely expensive, and I actually think this is a bit of a down point here. So, by the way, yes, they do have selling stuff. They are selling the riser right now. The website isn't functional as far as I've been told, but you can email Chase directly and they'll put your orders through. And they've been selling a few risers right now. But yeah, quick feedback on the case. I may have to requisition my win and win bow sleeve to use for my riser. That's fully enclosed. This is the first time I've seen a riser sleeve which is not fully enclosed. That's a slight weakness. True. One advantage is I just actually disagree, because there are two plunger holes here. You could put the plunger here. Like, people don't like removing the plunger. That is one advantage. And I personally keep my plunger on my bows. But I don't know. I feel that the advantage of having the plunger on is negated by having one of the most eye-catching parts of the bow kind of sticking out there. So you're right. It might be a good thing. Some people might disagree with that. But we're not here for the case. We're here for the riser itself. So it's a nice case too, by the way. It's on, isn't it, people? I'm excited. It's facing me. I face towards you guys. This is the first reveal. Ready? How's that? I'll let you admire it there. Whoa. It's actually greener than I thought. One thing to note with the color. Okay, so you might have seen in their pictures that it looks like a mint green color. It's actually not mint green. It's not emerald green, the same way you find with the Hoyt bows or most bows, which are green. It's not that bright a green, but it's also not that pastel green or that mint green. You can see in the photo right there as it is, right. So that the green isn't the same green. They're not selling the toe point unison right now. That's actually so new. They haven't finished manufacturing yet. Yeah, that's it's not the same green. It's a nice green. I reckon if it went for green accessories, that would have been just as sensible. But it's a very nice green. Okay, so what am I getting a feeling of right now? I'll think with the group a bit later. So let's examine this a bit more detail. Okay, so this is the green riser. I chose green because it would stand out. I figured that if I'm going to use it on my channel, a green bow will stand out more than a blue or red or black. So everybody has those three main colors. Those are the primary colors of bows. Is green, sorry, black, blue, and red, and you have the occasional white or silver. But green is a bit more unusual. So this is the green riser. So these, one of the big points, by the way, check the limb bolt. Look at that. Try and get the camera if I can focus on the limb bolt there. It has I believe the lotus flower on the limb bolt. Come on camera. I hide my face. Try and get a focus here. There we go. How's that for a limb bolt? There we go. So both the limb bolts have that flower. No, I don't want orange. I'm not an orange fan, to be honest. But in terms of matching, the orange accessories will be actually quite perfect. Okay, so that's the limb bolt. That's the back. And we have the stabilizer mount. Very well machined, by the way. I mean, I don't want to like compare like other risers right now, but one of the big parts of quality machining is how clean the bushings are put in. A lot of the cheaper ones have very rough machining. I mean, I'm seeing both ends. There's a rear mount too. I didn't realize that there's a rear mount. So some people are putting like a damper here, all weight down here. So the rear mount is quite strong. Well, it's very cleanly machined. I don't really put a lot of focus on the bushing because a lot of the screws in is fine, but this is very precise. Just try and show. I'll show the front one actually. You know, when it comes to like what you pay money for. Let's have a look here. Sorry guys. Yeah, you see this better in my actual review once I get around to it. But one of the things that really makes a difference in machining, well, in price, you pay $300 more, but every bushing, every screw, every mount is precisely machined. That's clean, and you can't really see it in the camera here, unfortunately. We're trying to get it really close. Not my zip, please. But the bushing, oh, we got it there. I think I'll hide behind the riser. So that, come on, is very good machining. Look at that, clean. I don't want to put a negative review for the toe point, but I just want to showcase why price matters. Okay, so I'll grab the toe point right now. I mean, this is the blue toe point unison. So the people are asking me in chat, by the way, about the it's just being sold. As far as I know, not right now. There's nothing wrong with this, except like if you look at the really careful details, the machining isn't as clean. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. It works completely fine. Nothing wrong with the machining, but you can see there's a slightly rougher feel. For most, like for example, the edges are a little sharper. There are more manufacturing faults in the casting or the machining rather. It's not cast, it's machined. Sorry, it's a CNC machine, but this is like around like $250 US. This is around what $700 US, and there is a very huge difference in pricing. Okay, and the quality this is a bit cruder. There's less fine manufacturing. I'm not saying this is bad. I'll make it very clear. For what you're paying, this is probably going to be a very good riser once I set it up. But the big difference, you get the feeling right away. That's heavy. Oh man. You get the feeling right away that everything here is manufactured with a lot of care and precision. That's why, like, I'm drawn to small details. That's why things like I'm looking at each of these bushings. There's a rear stabilizer in the front too. And that's actually both sides. So there's a lot of customization on this, right? So you can personalize this quite well. There's a front, there's a bottom front, middle front, top front stabilizer mountings, and rear on all sides too. That's actually really impressive. So one on the bottom of the grip, and one here. They've really gone all overboard on this, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm all the small details. The bolts are very high quality. That's the adjustment. That's the horizontal adjustment here. Try and get a closer look. So to adjust that, you add washers, I believe, on the inside and the outside. There's instructions which you need to pay attention to. But that's really high grade material. You can see the fine manufacturing on there. Oh, it's string stoppers. Yeah, you can use the stealth shot. True. Yes. I completely forgot about the people don't use them anymore. So yeah, true. You can use string stoppers. Should that be a thing you want to use? That's very good manufacturing. Very nice. Oh, it's just like the pockets are so clean there. Beautiful. From the side view, nice. I mean, it's elegant. I'm just touching everything here, and the reason why I'm doing this is, well, one of the hallmarks of very high quality manufacturing and in turn more expensive bows is the smoothness of the risers, right? So the cheaper risers tend to have rougher edges. They're more like square, or I won't say sharp, they're rougher. Alright, and really high quality manufacturing, you see smooth contours. Not only is it more pleasing to the eye, but it's also less of an engineering weak spot, because like sharp edges tend to crack a bit more easily. Everything's well smoothed out. Even the internals, the internal cutouts, they've got a much it's beveled better, I guess you can say. So it's not a rough, sharp feel. It's actually really well contoured. Not perfectly smooth on the inside. But that's not the point. The point is it's not sharp. So it's just like the crack and chip. Oh wow! Even a small hole over here. That's very clean. Is my name? No, the name is laser etched. Right, that's a special gift from Chaser Archery. The name is not glued; it is laser printed on the riser there. Yep, this was personalized for me. Like I said, this is quite a gift. When I say it's a free sample to review, I normally take free samples, but to personalize it to the extent where they've etched my name on the riser and put a custom grip. This is obviously going to be a featured bow on the channel going forwards. It's going to be a primary bow. That's why Project Partner is going to be very exciting. It's not going to be just any like bow I sample and then leave it alone. It's going to be a bow I use. The whole goal of the project is to teach people how to set up a competitive target bow from the beginning, from choosing all the materials, the equipment, to setting it up, doing tuning, and turning it into a competition bow. And the end goal is perhaps to win a competition at state level, if not higher, with this bow. Who knows where this will go? Alright, so I mean, I've only looked at half the bow so far. But yeah, let's look at the rest of it. That's the bottom part, to be expected. Got the Chaser Archery, Python inside there. Not very obvious branding, which is okay. I like subtle branding. But you see like other companies will put a lot more branding on their bows. You see like Hoyt bows with big logos. You see like the MK Archery with a giant logo here. And like Win and Win have like lots of text on the front and back. This is a fairly plain looking riser. So there's not much on it which screams professionalism and athletic stuff and so on. They in fact have the like the bottom of the grip has the aluminium grade. So it's actually that's what they're selling is the 775 T651 aluminum, and there's a Chaser Archery logo on the bottom here. It's low key. I mean, I would expect honestly, like if you're spending like $800 on a riser, I actually would expect a bit more branding. Like there's so many things here which you could brand. Like there's like these bumps here, which you could put stuff on. I mean, I'm honestly surprised. I'm not saying put more branding on, but you would expect that a riser that has more claim to professionalism would kind of put more branding on. It's kind of part of marketing. A little surprised, but I like this great marketing, and this is what a lot of people would dig. I mean, if you combine this with the like the limbs have lots of branding. The limbs are properly made. That's really cool. The round cover. This is nothing. Now, having said that, Gal, who's the CEO of Chaser Archery, has showed me, and you see it on the Facebook page as well, that they've devised a Barebow weight system. This is primarily designed for recurve, but they have made this Barebow compatible by designing side-mounted weights. I'm not sure exactly how they work, but I would imagine for the Barebow variant, they would screw on some of the weights on the side here. So I think for Barebow, it's just a decorative thing. For recurve, that is. For Barebow, I think this has something to do with where they would mount the weights. Again, I don't know the specifics because they haven't really released Barebow information, but I'm sure they'll post more stuff out on Facebook or in this video at some point. So yeah, I've been holding this for the last like 10 minutes. So grip. So this is the non-standard grip. They've given me the slightly wider grip. Have they guessed correctly? Ooh. Okay. Grip side. Let me check grip first. Let's see. They've guessed correctly. I'm less fond of the aggressive grips. This is a very strong, it's a sharper pistol-shaped grip here. A lot of people like this, especially if you're a Hort user. I'm less this. I'm less like this. Let's have a look here. So this one's I like the smoothness on this one here. This feels more like the it's a less aggressive grip for one. You can compare the two grips, right? You can see right away. This one's a much sharper angle if you like a higher grip. Oh, it's a low grip. The high grip that's a high grip. It's a low grip. So this is a low grip. This one's a little more on the high side, and I prefer this personally. That's actually pretty nice. I mean, I still am very fond of the win-and-win grips because right away the win-and-win grips tend to be more built out over here, and a lot of archers will use like plastic putty to build the grip out this way. So the win-and-win grips tend to do it right first shot. So very few people would modify the win-and-win grips. This one's a little thinner, which is fine for me. I've got smaller hands. So my hand's sitting here. Is it stress eliminating? Thanks, JD, by the way. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not very into engineering, so that's actually a good point there. I do know that they have a weight system over here, but that's interesting to look at. So stress eliminating, good design. Thank you, GN. Oh, GD, sorry. Very good. Alright, where was I? Very nice. Very nice. Is it in the package? I think it is. I'll look at it later. Yeah, because this is the short one. There's a longer one, which so you can see it on the visuals. I'll pick it up somewhere in here. It's in there somewhere. But yeah, first grip. Very nice. Very nice. So balance. It's like I said, it's about 1,300 grams. So it's on the heavy side, which is fine with me. I might like this a lot more. Ooh, I get used to this. I think the grip is correctly chosen. I like the this angle more than the other grip. These I believe you can buy. These weren't custom made grips. Yeah. Ooh, it's hard. So this one is on a not on the bow, obviously. I mean, both are nice grips. And this is where personal preference comes in. I like... That's tough. This one actually is slightly bulgy on the outside. I did like a bit of contact there. I mean, this is replaceable. You always like unscrew it and try it on. So I'm not sure, but I might try one, try the other. But this is, again, first impressions. Absolutely beautiful here. The balance is really nice. You need limbs on it too. You know what? I have the Uka limbs. Well, you know, let's put the chaser limbs on. This was designed for chaser. Let's do chaser and chaser first, and then we'll put the Uka limbs on. By the way, I have no string. I can't use this because I have no string. I have to make one. I can use the other strings, but apparently the Uka limbs require like different string lengths, and the Python is very sensitive too. Like, I think it uses Hoyt style kind of string lengths. But I need to figure out the correct length of string. Let's put this on first. So that's the bottom limb. Yeah, of course. Good to know. Almost customize it. So this is what they sent me as a pack. But I don't tend to use it as a pack. Beautiful click. Oh, that was nice. How's that? How's that? It's a nice contrast. Deep black with a nice green. It's not mint green. I've realized this. So be careful of the photographs. It's actually not the same green you think it is. It is more of a metallic green. It's not a emerald deep green, but it's a metallic green. It's a very nice green too. It's not as green as again the what you normally get. That's really nice. Very nice. By the way, yeah, GD, is that you, Gal? By the way, yeah, I guess I didn't realize that was you. Is that you? Very nice. What's that? But that's not the set I'm planning to use. So let's remove this. So I'll plan to use this on my Barebow. These are 32-pound limbs. So these are high quality limbs too. So I'm happy with that. Oops, happy with that. But the set I'm planning to use, I will have to make. I'm glad it's coming a week. I have more time to make a string. Ah, it is you, Gal. Sneaky. For those in chat, by the way, Gal, he is the owner of Chaser. He's the one who sent me all this stuff. So thank you, Gal. Glad you can join me for the unboxing. I told Gal that I'll pick up tomorrow morning, but didn't realize it's already here. So here we go. This is the set. This is the combination I was planning. All right. So this is the Project Python episode 0. So we have the oh, that was nice. The Uka limbs. The Uka limbs on the Python. This is the first stage of NUSensei's new bow. The last time the new bow video was the same age. That was a troll video. But this is for real. This is the beginnings. This is the beginnings of Project Python. This is going to be my competitive bow moving forward. I'm using the Uka limbs, 36 pound. Eventually I might go back to 40 pound, but I'm using this as competition limbs. There we go. That is the Chaser Python with the Uka limbs. With the NUSensei logo on top there. Oh man, that is so well machined. That it fits like a glove. No problems there. That's to be expected, but that's absolutely beautiful. So this is what I plan to use. You'll probably see a lot more of this on the range. Look at that. That is just amazing. Like, I'm going to step back a bit here. My draw length is around 26 inch. It's a bit shorter than that. I should be using 66-inch bow, but I've got a 68 instead. That works fine for me. Not a huge difference. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. You seeing this, guys? Are you seeing this? I've got all the accessories here, right? Let's play around with the accessories. I'm not going to mount it now. It's a bit late for that. I might do it as a video project, but like we bought the XL sight, didn't we, right? So let's see if we chose correctly, people. This is you chose the colors, right? So that's the XL sight. I'm not going to mount it right now, but that is the. I'm not sure about this, guys. You told me to pick orange. I'm not exactly sure this is the best color scheme, but that's a bizarre combination. The YouTube bow. This represents the epitome of my YouTube career. Having received one of these risers, a top-end competitive riser, a bow paid for, or stuff paid for by the channel, and chosen by you, the viewers. I'm not sure that was a good idea, but absolutely. Yeah, gold. I think I prefer gold. I think gold might be better. But green and orange, it'll stand out. The reason why I would have voted gold, it's too Australian. I mean, like, I can make a green and gold string and a green and gold bow. It's too Australian. Green and orange is slightly off, and that's actually not too bad. Yeah, wow. There's a lot of stuff to do with this bow. And so little time, too. Unfortunately, it's winter. And tomorrow is, like, you know, it's the National Indoors, which I'm not doing, but most people will be doing that. But I'm really happy to have received this, like, right now. I've got an orange Shibuya Ultima already set up for it. Oof. Alright, well, I've got a lot of things to play around with, but Gao is right here, by the way. GD1944. That is Gao. He is the CEO and owner of Chaser Archery. He's responsible for sending me this gear. If you have any questions about it, this is the right time to ask. You know, ask me for stuff, but I have literally, like, you know, 20 minutes holding the riser. Gao spent the last few years designing it. So if you have any questions right now, you know, for those watching live, ask. If you're watching this at the end, feel free to post comments in the video, and that way you can, Gao will probably follow up and answer all the questions. So that is the initial unboxing right there. Wow. As I said, first impressions, well, this is a solid and very sturdy, and it's well designed. Even like small things, that's the way the ledge is. Nice cutout, very big window. Just very well designed. I can see why people really want to go for this. I do like how it's not overly glossy. I personally like glossy bows, but that's something I like. Flashy, shiny things. This is metallic and not glossy, so it'll be a different color finish compared to what you normally see for Win and Hoyt and MK. So that, I think, already is a nice standout. It's a nice anodized look. Beautiful riser. Very smooth. Liking it so far. Oh, the Barebow setup. Gao, can I show you? I think you've got on your Facebook page, don't you? There is. I will show the Barebow setup. Gao designed the Barebow weight system himself, so I think if you're okay with this, Gao, I'll gladly show the Barebow system. Let me try and get it. Hey, for those who join us in chat right now, feel free to ask questions. We have Gao, the owner and designer of the riser, in chat right now, and I think in future we could do a live Q&A if Gao's okay with this too. Ooh, that's interesting, Gao. The name lasering is for free if you can wait for a few days. That's actually really interesting. Ooh, that's very fascinating. Man, so many photos of the Pythons going out right now. It's actually really interesting to see this. Where was I? There's a album which has also. If you're curious, check out the Chaser Archery website or the Facebook page. They've got a lot of photographs of the bow. Is there one of the... Ah, okay. I do... Gal, you did send me the Barebow. Do you want me to show that? Because this wasn't done by the... This wasn't done by... Oh, here it is. No, it's here. Good. Yes, so we got a bit of a preview of the Barebow weight system. I've got a few things here. Let me grab the frontal photo, because Gal did send me one from a different angle. Got a lot of photos to play around with here. Where is it? Here we go. Ah, yes. I think this is the better angle to show. Okay, so the Barebow. Let me flip the screen over. So if you configure this for Barebow, should look like this. It's a very interesting way. So, that's right. So the Barebow system bolts onto the front stabilizer rod and onto the bushing, onto the bottom stabilizer bushing. You've got customizable weights on the other side there. And this is one of the more advanced Barebow weight systems I've seen. Normally they keep it in line, so like the Gillo bows will keep it inside the riser. Just to bear in mind for those shooting Barebow, there are certain limitations over how much the weight can extend. I believe the bow, when unstrung, needs to fit inside I think a 122 centimeter ring. So the judge will pass the ring across the riser, so you can't go out too far, and you can't go sideways too far. So this is an interesting way to customize. Oh, very finely, no, 4 layers or 4 rows of weights. Each one can be customized. That's actually really interesting. That's a close-up of the weight system. I think Gal's mentioned that they're trying to market this as a target riser more so than a Barebow riser, but they are designing it to have that functionality. It's quite interesting too. And there's the photo from the Facebook page. Yeah, play around the weight system, so calibrating model weights to be asymmetric, I guess. But very interesting design there. So that's the Barebow functionality, for those who are wondering. Yeah, no, keep on asking questions. You know, we're here for a bit longer, but the unboxing part's done. For those just joining us, the unboxing part is done. That's I'll keep on holding it. I'll keep on posing with it. How that? I think it's worthy. 12 centimeters. I said 122. Is it millimeters then? It would be though. That's a target center. Sorry, I said 120 centimeters. That's the they'd be like a meter ring. That's stupid. Yeah, 12 centimeter ring. I said one. I'm thinking of target sizes. Sorry, yes, 12 centimeter ring. Whoa. Okay. Keep the questions coming. Question from Nino. I think Gal can answer this better than I can. How do you think this will hold against scratches or other accidents? I don't want to stress test that, obviously, but like, what are your experiences, Gal, designing this? Like, how resilient it is against scratches and other accidents? That's a good question. SAR Archery in Belgium is distributing. That's good. Oh yes, of course. I should point out, yeah, as Gal mentioned in chat, if you order directly from Chaser, they do offer free shipping worldwide. So I believe you are getting distribution in Lancaster. Is that well, I'm curious what the progress is. I think you mentioned Lancaster was something you might try to sell to. That might be a possibility, but at the moment, yeah. The website, I believe, is not running at the moment, but the information is there. If you email Chaser directly, they'll give you a delivery for free. Worldwide shipping. It's really interesting. And I mentioned in chat before, if you get your name laser printed on the riser, and quite a few people are doing that right now, then that's definitely something you can do if you can wait for a few days. Are you going to be having this riser for the foreseeable future? Yeah, the answer is yes, Sean. The plan for this is to turn this into a competitive bow. So what I intended to do, well, the whole point of this was to review it. So I'll be using it and reviewing it. The hard thing with target risers, for the risers I've reviewed previously, I've borrowed other people's bows. So I don't normally get a riser to test. And the problem is I have to like really like customize it to make it work. So I normally review other people's bows. What I do, I mean, I've got a few different risers that are lying around which I have to like set up and shoot. It's kind of a little hard to review a sample rise unless I actually kind of pimp it out. My plan for this one was originally going to be as an experimental test bed where I would review the riser and keep that as a second bow. But given that this is highly personalized and something I thought I would really like, and my first impressions are very good, my plan is to turn this into my primary bow. So to answer your question, Sean, I'm basically going to retire my win and win. It's hard to say no to using this, right? I think it's only fair, given that Chaser has donated the bow for review, but given that they've gone the extra step to make this personal. I think it's only fair that this gets a lot more usage, and my personal project's gone from an experimental platform to we'll make this our project. We'll try to turn this into a competition winning bow. Given that it coincides with a lot of developments in my personal archery. I've planned to go from the 40-pound win and win bow to a 36-pound bow. I've realized in retrospect that what I did in my archery career was I went from a basic entry-level bow to a very top-end bow with a high draw weight, and I skipped the in-between step. And I've learned a lot of very good lessons with my win and win bow. But I never learned the intermediate lessons from going up in draw weight slowly, and I'm kind of struggling a bit right now. So I was planning on going down in draw weight anyway, and it coincided with the offer from Chaser Archery to review their new bow. So I'm basically I'm getting this free as a review sample, but at the same time, because it is meant to be a high-end bow that is the equivalent or better than my current bow, then my plan was to transform this into a competitive bow. I normally shoot carbon bows, that's my preference, but I haven't actually shot a high-end aluminum bow, and I want to really get a good feel for this. And again, a big part here is a big thank you to Chaser. I mean, this is not something I take for granted. I mean, like a lot of people have said, well, some people have said that this is kind of like the natural result of the work on YouTube. That for the last 5 or so years, we've just been putting a lot of information on YouTube. And for me personally, this is kind of like the epitome of the work. Is I can always buy a bow, but getting one given to me as a gift and as a sample to review is something which I think should be reciprocated. So I do intend to give Chaser Archery a lot of screen time, the fact that this will be the bow of like this the official NUSensei YouTube bow. It's basically that's where it's at. It's going to be very prominent in the future. So that was Sean's question. That's the plan. I'm going to use this as my primary Olympic bow for the channel, and I'll be using this probably as my primary competition bow in the future. So I'll be setting it up and I'll be doing a lot of things with it. I didn't want to muck around with my win and win because it's very hard to take things apart and show how to tune and all this sort of stuff when you already have it set up. Once you've got it right, you don't want to touch it again. So the fact I've got a new bow with nothing set up, I'll be going through everything from the very beginning. So that's the goal of the future. Yeah, well, keep asking questions. We've been live for an hour at the moment, but we might stick around for a bit longer. It's currently 2:12 a.m, so it's a little late here. I'm not sleepy, by the way, so I'm completely fine with this, but I do want to wake up early for a haircut and to pick up my Google speaker. But yeah, that's still previewing the bow. I could set things up now, but I don't want to. I want to record the. I want to record, but document the process for anyone who's setting up a bow. Like it's a little unusual because again, like shops will often like they'll demonstrate certain things, and they might have a bow already set up. But it's very hard for a user to demonstrate the process because people who actually do go through the process, they don't record it because you don't really think about it. And people who can and should record things can't because they don't have a bow they can set up from scratch. So it's a unique opportunity to do so. Interesting. Yeah, you're right, TJ. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny if it was bad. Even though I've honestly, TJ, Joe, I know it's a bit of a joke there, but like you can't put this much money into a bow and find that it's bad. All bows where you spend more than a few $100s on are going to be good. I mean, honestly, the only negative review I've done would be the Toe Point R2. And not because the bow itself was bad. The bow itself is what when you pay like $100 for an entry level bow, then you expect certain things. Like you don't expect like fine grade, aluminium, a CNC machine. It's going to be a very cheap cast, almost a fiberglass feel, and that's what the low end bow is like. I mean, people ask me to review the Junsing F155. I've reviewed the R2, which is very similar, and I gave a negative review, not because the bow itself was bad. The bow itself was okay. Came with decent, fiberglass wood limbs. Riser was light and cheap, but that's what we expect. But I gave it a negative review because the kit was terrible. So that was the only negative review, and the only time I've had a bad experience with a bow is the kit was terrible. The arrows were bad, they were mismatched, the quiver was poor design, the finger tap was crap. But the bow itself was okay. I actually did several reviews of the bow because I felt I unfairly reviewed the Toe Point R2. So I went back to it just to review the bow itself. With proper arrows and proper gear, and it was pretty decent. And I'll actually recommend the R2 for beginners because of that. So I don't expect this to be a bad review. For this sort of thing, it's about whether or not you like the look and feel, and it feels right in your hand. But yeah, I know you're joking, but yeah, I mean honestly, like I said, I've only done like one negative bow review. And the pocket shot, which isn't a bow, but that was pretty. I didn't like that tool. That's kind of overrated, sort of thing. But if you know what you're getting, then obviously it's not going to be as disappointing when you buy like a cheap bow compared to $1,000 bow. Yeah. Sorry, Thomas had a question. Have I experienced target panic? Target panic. Target panic. Yeah, that's the question before. I think all of us eventually do. I mean, like, archers can be divided into, like, two kinds of people. You have people who have experienced target panic, and the people who haven't yet experienced target panic. I think everyone goes through this at some point. I have. It's a condition which you have to persevere and go through. It's not. There's no easy fix for it. There are things which you have to train out persistently in order to overcome target panic. So I'd say I would recognize the symptoms quite well. I've been through it myself, and yeah, like I said, I don't think people avoid target panic. You go through it. Either you've been through it or you haven't yet been through it, and you will at some point. There's no, you can't predict it. It might be shooting at your easiest distance, and for some reason you just can't do it. So yeah, absolutely. And thanks to Gal for the price check there. So it's $6.99 US, currently 10% off. So which its normal retail price is $7.80 USD. And again, if you order directly from Chaser, you can get free shipping worldwide. Guillermo, that's a very good question there. I don't understand. How do you know what's target panic? Target panic is the feeling where, for no explainable reason, you can't execute the shot accurately, properly, smoothly. You basically screw it up. You mess it up. You just can't shoot correctly. Now, if you shoot like on a blank target or on an easy target, you shoot perfectly fine. But the moment you start scoring and there's a bit of pressure, what you would normally do in practice perfectly, you can't do at all in a real competition, on a real scoring round. That is what the that's what target panic is. Target panic is when you are trying to hit the target but you can't. But if there's no target and no pressure, then you shoot fine. That's a symptom of target panic. So that's the answer to Guillermo's question. You know you are going through target panic when you just can't do it. If you practice normally, you can, but in competition, you can't. It's a very good one. You mentioned the ideal. I saw it before. Just to understand, Sean, and for anyone watching, I can't review most bows or risers because I don't have them. One of the things to keep in mind that when you're looking for bow reviews, most bow reviews come from professional shops, archery pro shops, because they have access to inventory. That's why channels like Archery Supplies, Steve runs that, Steve Hand from Archery Supplies, they can be quite helpful. Lancaster does a lot of previews. I mean, I think Archery Supplies does more. They have more subjective reviews, and it's actually a good thing because you want to get a feel. When you know what kind of bow a person uses, it's easy to kind of compare it to bows. Whereas when you have like previews, like this is how much it weighs and what it's made from, it's hard to get a feel for the bow. So it's quite hard to get a good review source. I didn't actually plan to do reviews for bows, but because as a club shooter, as a coach and as a president, I get access to a lot of bows. It's part of what I do. Is like people want to know, and I'm in a position where I see a small amount of product interchange. I don't have as much access to gear as a proper shop, and I don't buy bows to review. I have a lot of bows, yes. But the bows I have, I've bought like maybe 5 bows, but the most of the bows are sent to me for review because while the channel can afford to buy bows, what am I going to do with bows? I've got so many bows. I shoot like 2 or 3 regularly, and I rotate through all my bows, but I don't buy gear that I don't need. So while I can afford to buy like a Samick Ideal riser, I'm not going to make the money back unless I don't do anything for a whole month, right? So I don't, in case you haven't realized, I don't have a Patreon account. I have like YouTube revenue, but I don't do affiliate marketing. I don't have alternate revenue streams because this isn't my job. This is a hobby. I work a full-time job and I only buy what I need. So when it comes to reviewing gear, it comes down to either I can borrow the bow and therefore I can review it over a few days, or a company will send me a sample. It's very easy that's why I do a lot of trad reviews, the Mandarin duck bows, recently the Southwest archery bows have been coming in, because companies are willing to ship out a free sample to review, and this is the epitome of free samples. This is like an $800 free sample. It's a very big deal here. It's why I'm very happy to review stuff like this and really like customize it, but I can't review things like the Ideal because I can't buy it here. Nobody I know has one. So, and you have one too, right? So if you already have one, why do you need my opinion? What I normally do for bows which I don't have, I would just look it up. I just see the picture, see that's okay. Because like I said, like if you spend like a few $100s on a bow, it's not going to be bad. Like you've never seen someone, honestly. Okay, let's look. Okay, I've seen this before. Yeah, the Ideal. All right. So if we quickly look at the Samick Ideal, Bing. So this is what you're getting. This is your typical aluminium bow, which is like what, $150 for the riser. This is like the equivalent to the SF or the WNS Axiom. So it's a pretty cheap, low-grade aluminium. I think it's cast, not CNC. This is fairly typical of most bows. You compare this what I have for you, let's say the SF Axiom, for example, they'd be very similar. The Axiom's a lot cheaper. This is like the dead bottom cheap of aluminium bows. So it's probably close to a premium. The SF Premium riser, well, premium riser is probably close to one, right? So this compared to the Ideal are going to be very similar. Very similar, okay? So you have this and this. So when I see a bow I don't recognize, people say, oh, NUSensei, is this a good bow? I'll look at what's similar to it. So this is the Ideal. This picture is an Ideal. I'll go, well, I recognize the features. And you have, you know, the aluminium. It has to be cast. I don't believe this is CNC or forged build. I'm not sure because I haven't seen the bow myself. But it looks like this level, the premium. So that's what we do. We compare the bows we've handled and we've seen before. I've handled this. One of my friends has one. This is his first bow. The design elements are different, but the finish and manufacturing look very similar. That's how I do things. That's how I review. So as far as I know, all I can say is, like, I'm sure your bow is fine. I said before that like, I've never done a bad review except for one kit, which I thought was a terrible kit, but the bow itself was okay. The only times I've seen people regret buying a bow is when they have bought an El Cheapo eBay bow. You spend like $50 or $100 on a bow, you can't expect quality. Now there are some exceptions. I mentioned Mandarin Duck, for example. They're kind of exceptional because they've been selling very cheap gear, but they're pretty high quality stuff actually. So they're not like throwaway fiberglass bows. But yeah, the only people I've seen who have regretted the bow they bought are the ones who did a blind buy off eBay or Amazon or AliExpress, especially compound bows. You spend like $150 on a compound bow, you are buying crap. You can't manufacture a good compound bow for that low a price. You've got to spend at least, what, $300 to $500 on a compound bow to have a decent bow. And if you spend that much, you'll like it. The bow's guaranteed to be good. Same thing with your point about the Samick Ideal. If you spend like enough money, like a few $100s on a riser or a whole bow, it's got to be good. Like people don't sell crap for like hundreds of dollars. Not in this industry. It's too small for that. Big industries, perhaps you can sell counterfeit stuff, and that's different. But for archery, you can be confident that the bow that you have is going to be fine. And if you like using it, you don't need my opinion for it. If you're trying to validate it, then I'm sure it's good. But like I said, I don't have the opportunity to review a lot of bows. I do what I can. Yeah, like a Space Shock has a point there. So they understand too that the pro shops do have to maintain their dealerships. It's very hard to find a shop owner who is honest. I'm not saying that people are dishonest, but they do have limitations as to what they can say or can't say. I think an exception to this would be Sheldon Gannon. He used to own a shop called Find It Art Supplies up in Queensland, and he was a lot more honest in these comparisons of risers. But most shops, they have to preserve a relationship with their suppliers, so they might not be as critical as someone who is not affiliated with a shop will be. That makes sense. If you're working with as a partnership, then you would kind of extol more the virtues and the qualities of a bow, and you kind of downplay the negatives of the bow. And there aren't that many negatives to begin with anyway for most bows. But you won't be as nitpicky. But this isn't saying that like bow reviews are dishonest, but they might not portray the whole picture of the bow, especially if they're trying to showcase product. And one thing I actually showcased in the shopping live stream was that when I was watching Lancaster, like if I didn't know a certain accessory or a certain component, I would watch the video. So things like previews work quite well. You can actually see it, see the product or see the item, but to get a good impression of it, you need to use it over a long period of time. Even my bow reviews or my riser reviews aren't always that accurate because I only use it for like a day or a few hours. I don't use it for a long period of time because I can't. I don't keep the bow unless it's sent to me for free, because I do keep it, but I don't always use it because I've got like, you only use one bow at once. So if I'm gonna review this, I don't want to, especially this, the Python, I don't want to like use it once and say this is my impression. Because this is actually mine to keep. I want to use it for a long period of time. It's why, actually, a good point here. It's why I haven't reviewed like my horse bows. I haven't reviewed the Istvan Toth Mongolian bow. I haven't reviewed the Mandarin duck bow because I want to get used to using it as a thumb draw bow rather than as a a regular recurve before I'm in a position to comment on it. Once you use one set of bows long enough, you can build up a familiarity with how bows should feel. That's why it's easy to review bows with less range time. I've used quite a few trad bows now. I dare say I'm a decent shot with trad bows. My first few trad bow reviews were very sloppy. I've watched a few now and I've realized, wow, I don't anchor very well. I don't expand very well. But now I'm a lot more comfortable with trad technique and shooting barebow. So, like, I can now pick up, say, a new, like, the spider was an example. I've shot trad barebow for quite a while now. I pick up the spider, I go, oh, that feels a certain way compared to what I expect it to be. So I can build a better image of what it's going to do and how it surprises me. Let's put it that way. So you need quite a lot of time to kind of figure it out. Sorry, the chat is interesting right now. Let's go in chat. There's stuff happening in chat. Ask more questions, guys, by the way. Ask myself. I think Gal is still here. GD1944CN is Gal. He is the owner and CEO of Chaser Archery. He's the one who sent me the riser. Good question, actually. Like, we don't know, well, I don't know, but I think most of us don't know much about the archery scene in China. I mean, we might grab this question for Gal later on. We might organize a special live stream for Gal. But, that's a good question is, like, what do people use in China? Jack Song had the question there. So, we have brands like Junsing, San Linda. So, what do people use and how do they upgrade? That's actually quite interesting. So I really know nothing about Chinese archery. I know the Chinese team compete at high level every now and then, but that's actually a very good point there. TJJ, the Semic Advantage, actually quite an old bow. It's a decent bow. I haven't used it myself, but I've seen reviews of it. But the Advantage are pretty decent. They're inexpensive. They're quite cheap. They're very inexpensive. But they're a pretty decent entry-level bow, from what I've seen and heard. Yeah, Space Jockey, yeah, that's right. Like, especially my older videos. Like, I kind of cringe when I watch them. My older demonstrations of trad bows. Yeah, I tend to use much heavier limbs. I mean, I shoot 40-pound with my Olympic recurve. I shoot like 45 to 50-pound for the trad bow, so the weight's a lot more. A big part is really, I think it's like how confident I was shooting barebow and expanding through the shot without a clicker. I think for people who shoot too much of a clicker, you'll lose that instinctive feel. That's generally true for trad shooting. So yeah, like my starting with the Sage and quite a few of my early videos, I wasn't well familiar with trad. Another key reason is actually what tab I use, because most of my tabs are target tabs, so they've got very prominent ledges. So I didn't anchor very tightly. I realized this because I punched myself in the face with the ledge. It's actually quite painful. When I shoot with a glove, I'm a bit better. But yeah, I've grown as a trad barebow shooter since. So yeah, my trad reviews, I tend to avoid trad reviews until I get a feeling of good form. Even then, I don't always do it right. But yeah, like I tend to borrow very, a lot of like heavy bows. Like the bows aren't often mine. Like for example, the Norseman Overlord, like the very good bow. That's like 55 pound or something. I mean, at my draw length, it's much shorter, but it's much higher than what I normally do. The Black Wolf is much higher than what I normally do. So yeah, I can physically use it, but I can't use it well, and that's a limitation which I acknowledge quite openly. I say actually I'm pretty honest. Like, I'm not a trad shooter, so I make a very clear point that I'm not judging the accuracy based on how I can shoot, but I'll give you feedback how it feels. But yeah, no, trad shooting is very fun. I don't do enough of it. Obviously, I'm going to focus more on this sort of archery. But like over time, you realize that archery is the same no matter what you do. There's no real difference between like modern archery and traditional archery. It's I mean, like 90% of the archery technique is the same. Um, Sorry, comparing the weight to the limbs. Good question. I'm going to assume that the Uka limbs are actually slightly lighter. Let's have a look here. Let's not drop the bow. Oh, yeah, that didn't sound very good, but it's fine. Well, well, that's good. Man, you thought it was messy before. It's even messier now. Holy crap. Yeah, no, good example, Special, was the bear taker. I've had the bear for nearly a year. So I bought it off Grizzly Jim, but I didn't want to review it until I could use it fairly decently. And even then, I was shooting on a bad day. I wasn't in condition to shoot. But the whole point was that I didn't want to review a good bow with bad form. Didn't mind a Sage or the other trad bows, which are meant to be kind of like throwaway, like entry level bows, because I could get away with that. But I didn't want to make the bear look bad. I'm not the best archer in the world. I'm a competent archer, but I don't want to like review stuff and like not demonstrate at least decent form. There are some things like things like creeping. Like a lot of average archers will have this anyway. And it takes the years to develop good form and technique. But like there are things I don't want to be like. I don't want to say like this review is bad or this channel is bad, but you see a lot of like reviewers or reviews of fairly average archers who have like. Actually, no. I think average archers are okay. It's more like you have people who are super enthusiastic about bows or archery. They've bought their first bow and they've never learned to shoot, but they want to show off. So they'll do a review where they show themselves shooting at bottles and hay bales. But the shooting is just, you can see they've never had an archery lesson. So they've got barely any fundamentals. I think that's what I want to avoid as a YouTube personality. I don't want to review a bow and actually shoot like crap, because it really like it's easy for a popular like YouTuber to do a bad review and that result turns up on like the #1 search result for that product. And it's kind of unfortunate because it's unfair for the bow. It's a poor reflection on the person doing it. But yeah, it's misleading because you're demonstrating the wrong thing. It's the same reason why I don't like people who say the bow's accurate. Accuracy isn't the bow. The accuracy is the user. You can have a really bad bow, but shoot accurately with it because you are consistent. That's not the main design function of a bow. But yeah, like one thing I want to point out is I don't want to like look bad on a camera. Especially look, I've been doing YouTube on archery for like 5-6 years now. This is my 7th year in archery, so probably about 6 years of archery on YouTube, which is not a short amount of time. I've aged since, man, and I've grown with this since. But yeah, like one of the what was the point? The thing I was gonna say was that like I didn't. There were many periods where I didn't do tutorials because I was going through a form slump. And like I said, there's no point in me demonstrating a skill or explaining a concept if my form was not right. Because why demonstrate wrong technique? Even if you know the right technique, but you can't demonstrate it, then what's the point of showing it? And I've actually, honestly, I've criticized some other presenters for not demonstrating what they're showing. In fact, one of my pet peeves right now, an archery annoyance, is people who make tutorial videos or demonstration videos but don't actually demonstrate it. An example of this is speed shooting. Those who are really into like Lars Anderson style speed shooting, like people are dying to get like some kind of tutorial how to load arrows and shoot arrows quickly. And you get a lot of these clickbait videos where they say learn to shoot 5 arrows in 1 second. And they go through all the steps, and this is how you hold the arrows, this is how you knock the arrows, which is very good to see in depth how they manually do it. But at the same time, they don't actually do it. So the theory isn't matched in reality. And at best, for example, it may be that they'll show you how it would look like if they did it. But they don't shoot. They're in their living room or something, so they can't actually shoot. So they'll go, pretend I'm doing this. And then the arrow drops down and pretend I'm doing this. It's not the actual skill they're demonstrating. So why explain it? And when they actually do it, they don't shoot anywhere near as fast. So there's no point in explaining the skill you can't do. Imagine me explaining like martial art techniques, like how to punch or how to grapple. I know by watching people what the theory is. But if I can't do it, I can't demonstrate it, then I shouldn't make a video about it. Right? There are standards here. I mean, I would love to demonstrate how to shoot like Lars Anderson. People would absolutely watch that stuff because Lars doesn't show you how to do it. He just does it very well. I could probably teach it, but I can't do it yet. So I don't want to show you hypothetically how to do it. So there, that's yeah. A little rant there, but the big point is like it's important that you have to like know what you're doing with your teacher. That's why I don't want to review good gear without spending the time to do it properly. It's why at the moment I don't review horse bows. I'm sure once I do horse bows, I'll go through what Armin Hermer's going through. So Armin Hermer is at the moment I'd say the fastest growing archery channel, apart from me. But in terms of where he started from, he's going through a very large growth because he does traditional archery. He does other archery too, but he does a lot of trad shooting and thumb draws. And there isn't a good resource, a regular resource of thumb draw shooting technique and equipment. And he does a lot of it. He runs a range and he has a shop, so he knows what he gets stuff. So companies will send him gear and he'll review it. I imagine once I do more of that, I'll go through a similar surge. Except I'm like 10 times bigger than he is, or 100 times bigger, nearly. But like the point is, like once I start doing more trad stuff, more trad companies will come on board and send me gear to review. Especially for trad bows, like Western trad, Eastern trad. I've had Vermil Archery has been very good with me. They make thumb rings, and they're currently doing I think 3D printed custom arrow nocks for speed shooting. So I've got a set of those somewhere. I haven't used it yet. I have no arrows for it. But they sent me like 3 thumb rings, and I'm very happy with thumb rings. And Vermil thumb rings are some of the best. But I don't do a lot of trad shooting. So I imagine once I start doing more reviews, more companies will say, oh, you know, he's a good reviewer. He knows what he's doing. He's not a crap wannabe shooter. It's actually pretty decent. Then we'll go with that. But I believe fundamentally that a reviewer should meet at least some level of skill. If you're a champion shooter, even better. You have some credentials. But at least be a competent shooter. You don't have to be a master shooter. You don't have to be like Byron Ferguson or Lars Anderson or Armin Hermer. But just the ability to shoot competently is a baseline for reviewing. That's why, like I said, I don't review things spontaneously. I want to be familiar enough with the equipment. I guess again, continue with the rant. I said before, proficiency is a thing, But another thing is, again, YouTube isn't a job for me. Archery isn't a job. It's a hobby. And I'm not driven by the need to make content regularly on a schedule. You see, so many people, like say you've got to release things on a schedule to get views and stuff. I don't bother. You know this by now, guys. I don't make regular videos. I do chunks. I just release everything right away. I don't care about timing and getting people to spreading my things out. As soon as I make it and I finish it, I'll upload it and it's done. I'm not gonna schedule it. I'm not tied to a schedule or a timetable. I make what I want to make when I want to make it. And if I don't want to make something, I don't make it. So if someone sends me like a new bow, there is a bit of pressure to release the content in a certain time frame, because it's only fair for the company that I give them the respect. I reciprocate the kindness they've sent in sending a review or a free sample, but at the same time, like I don't have to rush out a review in a week. So therefore I can spend more time, especially if I buy myself. I'm not driven to review it right away. This is a bit of a culture thing where people would get things, like they'll buy something new, they'll unbox it, for example, like what I'm doing right now. But they'll unbox it, they get a lot of views, then they'll shoot it once, and then they'll record the entire love affair with their new product. And I think, like I said, I don't think it's wrong, but I think there's a certain responsibility that we have as reviewers to give the most accurate and helpful insight on whatever product we're reviewing. And as an archer, that means, of course, spending more time with the gear. No point in saying it's bad if it's actually you that's causing it, not the bow. And this is why I have disagreements with some other people, especially non-archery channels who do archery information, because they themselves are not that qualified as archers, but they're doing commentaries on modern archery technique, and they actually don't know what they're talking about. And because they're much larger channels, it's quite misleading. It's a big it's a big problem, because you see like hundreds of thousands of people get misled by comments made by someone who isn't qualified to make the comments. But the people who actually do know don't have that much respect or the same following, so it's actually quite hard to do so. Yeah, sorry, a bit of a rant there. So some stuff there. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Jack, for the feedback. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, I agree, Space. It's a journey. Like one thing I've learned over my years, I sound like an old man now, is that you accept everything you do. Right? I'm not necessarily proud of the things I've done before, but I've done them. They're part of the journey. So every mistake I've made is a mistake I own, and I've learned from every video I've made. Some videos I look back and go, wow, that's pretty crap. But I make them and I don't delete them because they're part of that journey. So you go through the same journey I go through. It's very important that we retain these things, we accept these things, and they do provide a thing. But there are things which now I would probably do better. Like one day I'll do a proper shot process video. Like one of my first videos, one of my most popular videos is how do you look like a pro on your first day, and that's a very popular video. I watch it and I think, well, that's crap. I mean, I didn't know how to do it properly, and then voiceovers were new, camera work was new. I mean, I still cringe at myself, but it was a helpful video which people still enjoy watching. And I feel that now that I've learned from like 6 years of presenting on YouTube, I can come back and make a better video, but not replace it. I don't delete it. I think that's still a good video, but I make supplementary stuff now with better equipment, better scripting, better presentation, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm keeping. I agree, Jin. The same thing. I keep all my sketches. I draw too. I don't do art professionally, but I keep all my artwork. And every now and then I go back and think I can do a better one now. Sorry, I just ranted stuff there. Yeah, no, thanks, Rade. Yeah, like I don't do YouTube as a popularity thing. I find it bizarre. People say, "Oh, you're jealous of this person," be like Lars Anderson, because you want to be popular, and he's popular and you're not. I'm popular enough as it is, right? I don't want to be popular. It's not my goal. But people are so driven by this algorithm business. It's like popularity, more followers, more likes, more subscribers, and they judge you on this number. And this is a bizarre thing, because this is what kids do. And you know, for someone whose job is not YouTube, is not archery, I don't care. Like I make stuff because I want to make it. I want to share it with people. It's my archery journey. It's my passion. I share it. I have a passion for learning. So whether I have like 1,000 followers or 10,000 or 100,000, largely doesn't influence what I do. And you see a lot of people go like they keep on asking subscribers for what should I do, and they'll make content for subscribers. You notice that I rarely, if ever, ask what I should do next, because I don't care what you think. Not in the way where I dismiss you, but people will offer suggestions to ask questions, and this might influence what I make in the future. But I don't respond to requests. I might consider it, but I don't make it my mission to answer your question. If I get to it eventually, it's great. We all benefit. Everyone learns from it. But if it's something I don't want to do, but people do, then I don't do it. I'm not driven by that need to make you happy. People say, "Oh, you should make another channel for games." I don't care. If you don't want to subscribe because you don't want to watch half my videos, I don't care. If I make a video which I really like, but very few people watch it, I don't care. I mean, like for example, one of my most recent videos is the archery pop shot series, because like you know I like gaming, I like archery. It makes sense to make a gaming archery series, and these are very unpopular videos. Like you know I get like 1,000 views or 2,000 views. That's basically it. Like these aren't very trendy things, but they fill a very small niche, which is more of curiosity. So these are some of my favorite videos because they're the most well put together. There's some scripting, editing, the process takes a long time, but I'm happy with the product. And whether people watch it or not isn't my concern. I'm not making money from it. I am, in a small way, technically speaking. And I have like, money making videos. But the whole point is I'm not trying to make money. This isn't my job. And this is in a sense a very old school way of thinking of YouTubers. Before YouTube was a business, before people did YouTube as a living. And this is just making stuff because you want to make stuff, not because I'm being driven by money or profit or free product. I do what I want to do, and I work on my own schedule. How do I feel about shoot-through risers? Shoot-through risers actually have some unique benefits. This is David's question, sorry. Shoot-through risers have some very interesting benefits. The main thing is that they can be used left or right-handed, and they do deal with the issue of the eye dominance or hand dominance a bit better. They're also very rare. You see this a bit more with compound bows. You don't see them in recurve. It doesn't work in a recurve. But compound you can. And I have seen some people use them before. They're interesting. Sorry, a bit of a ramble there. There's a question before which I completely ignored. I do apologize. Was what weighs more, the Chaser 10s or the Ukas? They're pretty equal, honestly. I know this isn't the most accurate way to measure things. Limbs are limbs. I don't feel there's a huge difference between these things. Right. There's really. I can't say. I don't want to say carbon. I mean, they're both carbon limbs, so you expect them to weigh very similarly. Now these are nearly identical as far as I'm concerned. Not saying it's much, but as far as I'm concerned, it's nearly identical. That was the original question there. Sorry, this streamed quite a while now. This is meant to be a quick unboxing video. But I think we got carried away with stuff. But that's cool. That's cool. We're having a good time here. I don't stream that much. Oh, it's end of the month. It should be Q&A time. Well, I'll start doing Q&A questions later on. I might what I want to do is I want to do a general Q&A, but I also might want to do a special Q&A after I get the path up and running. To kind of get Gal to come back in to answer questions about the bow. If I think it's a great chance for him to do so. I think he's earned that spot too. But I want to get some range time with the bow. So setting it up. I didn't make a string. I don't have a string for it. So I didn't make a string for it. I didn't buy one because like I want to make something. Right? I have the tools. I spent the money on the jig. I want to make my own string. I've made hundreds. So why not make my own string? Why go to a pro shop and spend $50 on the string? So yeah, what's up? Where was I? Sean, sorry, I ignored your question before. Guillermo's one who asked the curvature. Let's do it very quickly. I believe that the Uka limbs have a strange curvature. This is not the X curve. This is the regular one, the curve. But I believe that the Uka limbs have a slightly different curve. That's why the string length is going to be a little different. So it's not absurdly different, but the Ukas do have a different curve compared to most limbs. Sorry, this is a weird way of doing things. I can't actually see this directly because the limbs are quite differently shaped. The Uka limbs are a little narrower. That's a very important point to make. I think the Uka limbs are a little narrower. And this is where the limbs come in different design. The Chaser, the Kea limbs are more generic in terms of the shape. And the Win limbs are different as well. They have more of a tower effect. But I believe the Uka limbs have a more curvature to them. It's their design kind of thing. Let's try to do it this way. That's kind of hard to measure. But for my first impression is I believe, yes, that the Uka limb has a bit more curvature to it. Yeah, they do. That's my quick one there. Yeah, Jin's pretty accurate with that one. More curvature of the limbs. Sorry, Sean, I had your question before. I ignored that. I do apologize. You've ordered your first clicker and you've watched my clicker video. How do you get the right place to get? Oh, sorry, you missed how the right place to go off. How would you set up your clicker? Okay, so the easiest way to set up the clicker is you have someone helping you to watch you. The idea is that you want to set your clicker so that at full draw, the point of the arrow is just in front of the clicker. So it requires minimal effort to expand and finish the shot. So if someone watches you, they can tell you how far off you are. That's why it's easier for two people. Now, if you don't have a second person, you kind of have to do it by yourself. That means you have to set the clicker at a certain place, and then you will pull or draw. And if you overdraw and it gets too easy to get through, then it's too far out, so you push back in. If you are struggling to get it through, then you have to push it back out. So if you're doing this by yourself, it's trial and error. If you can record your clicker as a close-up, you have a much better idea of how far off you are. It's most easy when you have a second person to help you out. Otherwise, it's trial and error. That answers your question, I think. Interesting. Oh, thanks, Dave, for letting me know that. Yeah, they were quite fast, by the way. Like, I mean, postage can be quite expensive. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. But Lax is quite good with their shipping too. Yeah, great thing. I mean, Kitson, you know this as much as I do now. The Uka has a very good manual in terms of recommended lengths and brace heights. I might start with that length of string, but I think Gal mentioned that the Python also has a particular length that it likes. I think it's similar to Hoyt, but a bit different from Win and Win. So yeah, different risers, by the way, for those who don't know, different combinations of limbs and risers might deviate from the standard string lengths. So if you buy like a 68-inch AMO string, it might not be the perfect length to get the right brace height within reason of your twists. So the Uka limb guide helps a lot, but the risers may differ. And Python is not Hoyt or Win and Win, so it's a little tricky to get it exactly right. So I might have to I might start with that recommended length. I'll make it to specification, and we'll see if we get the right brace height for the bow. And this will be a serious tuning bow, so be part of my journey, and we'll see how it goes. Oh man, I'm really keen. I can't use it tomorrow because I don't have the strings. I don't have arrows, because remember, we chose not to buy arrows in our buy. A good bit of advice is you buy the arrows last, unless you really need arrows. because you don't have any, you buy arrows last. I've got plenty of arrows. I've got sets where I can help tune myself. I can get out the right spine, and we can consult the spine charts. We can later on go and tune. I mean, we kind of picked out the arrows we want, the carbon ones. We basically know the right length we need, but we did some fine tuning with that. Yeah, so I did some arrow cutting, did some shopping, and one of the things with arrows is you have to accept that you may have to buy multiple sets of arrows before you get the right one, and that's part of archery. Arrows can be very fickle, but if you buy the wrong arrows, you will have chronic problems, which will just really annoy you. So yeah, like you have to be willing to buy arrows. That's why, especially for expensive arrows like ACEs or X10s, you really need to know what you're getting. And I've bought multiple ACE sets, and you have to be okay with this. You can calculate, but ultimately, it's in practice. With your form and technique and your different nuances, what works for you. Okay, it's really important. So yeah, arrows are going to be probably the hardest part of this whole process. Everything else is actually pretty basic. I can show you like plunger tuning and all that. A lot of it is the bow setup is fairly basic. Make sure everything lines up, fits together, and screwed in. Tuning's a bit more delicate, and once you get it right, you don't change a whole lot. I mean, I'm not going to give you professional level tuning advice, but just enough to get it right. By the way, I did recommend Jake Kaminsky's video on tuning. He does set up his win and win bow from scratch. Probably much better than what I can do, but hey, let's see what we can do. How do you set spin win angles? Some people keep it straight. It depends what school of thought you come from. If you come from Jim Park's point of view, you need like a 1 or 2 degree offset for all your vanes. But a lot of people keep them straight, so it's very divisive. Now, Jim Park is one of the very few people who've actually done research papers on arrows, so he's a bit more qualified, but a lot of archers and coaches swear the other way, so yeah, either way works fine. So was that your question? I'm not sure if that was your question. How do you set? Like I said, depends on what school of thought you come from. It might be 1 or 2 degrees, or it might be none. Sorry, for Jin's question, there isn't for terms of rises, there's enough of a standardized. I mean, there's the AMO standard, right? But that's not the question you're asking me. The reality is that there's enough differences where the limb curvature and the limb pocket angle on the riser may deviate from what most AMO strings will fit. It's why you will never exactly quite get it right. It's why when people say, "Oh, make me a 68-inch AMO string," sure, I'll make 68 inches, but it might not get you the brace height that you actually need. Hence why Kitsu made a point there. If you are able to make your own strings, or know someone who can make one, then it's much easier to get the exact right string. If you buy factory made, it'll fit most bows, but you can't fine tune and customize it. What do I think of the PSC Beast EXT? What is that? Is that a compound bow? Sounds like one. That sounds like a recurve to me. What is that thing? That is a compound bow. It looks like a compound bow. I don't shoot compound kill wolves. I don't know. I can't comment. Compound's hard because like people don't buy compounds a lot, right? Like you buy one compound you keep for years until you buy a new motorcycle, or bow. So it's really tough to think of compounds. I don't know, honestly. I've never used one. I've shot a compound once. It was a kiddie one. I'm not interested in compounds, so I can't comment. Yeah, arrows for a 32-inch straw is hard. Yep. Yeah, especially with clicker. Yeah, that's pretty tough. Big people have certain advantages for shooting trad, but getting arrows is tricky, very tricky. All right, I reckon we'll call it quits now. It's like 3 a.m. and I think we've streamed for nearly 2 hours, but we've done most of the good stuff already. What I'll do is I will set up a thread on YouTube and on my Facebook page for any questions you might have for our monthly Q&A. But I'm really happy for those who've joining in. The riser did come in. So after my gaff earlier, where I thought it didn't come in, here it is, beautiful green. So thank you, Gal, and thank you, Chaser Archery, for providing me with the bow. There will be a lot of content to come featuring the Python, not just the review, but the whole project Python. Okay, the whole setup. We've done the live streams. We'll summarize those so you can see the whole process of picking the accessories and everything that goes with it. We'll do some tuning stuff, and like I said, the end goal is to make this a competitive bow. And the fact that I've got it now means I can start working it right away. First thing we'll have to do is to make a string for it. I've got plenty of spare strings, but let's make one specifically for this bow, green and orange, as you requested. Well, I might stream that, I might not. I don't have my my streaming laptop with me, so I can't really do so. We'll see how it works. So again, thank you for joining me. If you're interested, then we will get we'll get Gal to come in for a Q&A. So if you have any questions about the Python, Chaser Archery, their products, and basically anything about archery in China, I think Gal's a good person to go to. He's quite in tune with what's happening. So if you are interested, we can invite him back. He was in chat before. He'll be quite happy to answer questions. So thank you, everybody. And if you're just joining me, the most important parts for the first half an hour, we unboxed everything. Lots of fun today. So yeah, I'm gonna have a bit of a nap, get my hair cut. Next time you see me, I'll look a bit different, maybe a bit more good looking. Maybe we'll work on that. But thanks everyone. Time to go to sleep. I'll get a haircut, do some archery, show off the new riser to everybody else at the club, and hopefully we'll come back with more stuff next time. Stay tuned for the Q&A happening probably next weekend. It's the end of the month, so we'll do it next weekend. So thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you to Eric following in chat. Thank you, Gal. You're still here. And yeah, a lot more to come. See you then.